everyone, welcome back to Gaming the System with Matt and Alex. This is the podcast where we look at gaming through a feminist lens. This is another bonus round, which will be a deep dive between myself and Alex into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, Alex has finished playing it for the time being, and I finished playing it a couple of months ago, so this will be a refresh for me. And hopefully, Alex, your memories might be a bit fresher than mine. Mm-hmm. So I've got the wisdom of time on my side of having experienced it. So first off, just general impressions. If someone walked up to you on the street and says, "Oh, what did you think of Assassin's Creed Valhalla?" How would you respond?
It's a big game. Definitely, I would say that would be my first impression. I definitely feel like they've fleshed out the mythological aspects of the game a lot more than in previous iterations of Assassin's Creed. So if you're into Norse myth, it's definitely one for you. Generally speaking, though, I do feel you can quite quickly get fatigued, as it were, because a lot of the missions can be quite grindy until you realise you need to actually be doing the main quest rather than the side quest. Or at least I found it took me a while to figure out which ones were the main quests. I don't know if you had the same trouble. But yeah, so there's some issues around that, I would say. But generally, if you know you like the later Assassin's Creed, then this is more of the same, essentially, just set in Anglo-Saxon England for the most part. And I do know that obviously they did have to squidge down England to make it fit into the game map. So some parts are not as accurate as they would have been in real life. But it's a game at the end of the day, so you can't expect everything.
I thought it is big. It is long.
Yeah.
It is stuffed with stuff, even though it's like 90% of it's collectibles. But I really enjoyed the amount of collectibles, because it was a time when I needed something sort of endless to sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
And when the last two Assassin's Creed games now, I've been quite scathing with them at the start, and then sort of let my expectations go down and just enjoy it for what it is. That's kind of like what I did with the God of War trailer.
Yeah,
go,
that's true.
Oh my god!
And now you're like, actually, it's great. Yeah.
It was. So once I overcame that bit, I started looking at just enjoying I think they've exhausted their sort of the places where they can have that massive open Mediterranean map.
I would agree.
Normal ships sailing around, and so now you don't have that anymore. So it was quite a bold idea, I think, just to have it as long ships going down rivers. I think it paces itself quite well. I think I didn't get bored with the main quest. I was actually interested in like progressing it and looking configured and just running around. It was at first I thought it was quite a flat game because England was quite flat. I just thought, it's maybe because we live here.
Yeah, we're just used to it. Yeah.
I wonder what it's like to someone who doesn't live in England and think, it's very, very pretty and autumnal.
There's certainly the environment of England are very, very impressive. Like the absolutely vast landscape when you first do your first synchronization point, and do the eagle dive, except you don't get that skill until a little bit later, which was a surprise to me. But I thought the way they've mapped out the landscapes of England and the rolling hills, they're very well done, and they do have their own sort of beauty to them, which kind of makes you appreciate where you live a little bit more. You're like, actually, it's quite nice here. Yeah. But having said that, I haven't uncovered the part of England where I live yet, because it's too high a level for me at the moment. There's still quite a lot of England I haven't uncovered in terms of uncovering the map. So there's still a lot of it to go. But I do just keep getting... It is very, very easy to get distracted by a lot of the collectibles, as you say, which is fine because I love collectibles, and also a lot of the mini games like Orlog. It's very distracting. Like I mentioned in one of our previous episodes, I spent, I think it was a solid 3 or 4 days just playing Orlog. Instead of doing anything to do with the quests, I would just boot up Valhalla and be like, right, time for more Orlog, because I'd figured out how to win, which was fun. So yeah, but I will jump back in when I'm in the right headspace for it. I think you have to be in that sort of mood. And obviously everyone feels like they have different games for different moods, and that's fine as well. But yeah, there's definitely a large chunk of it I still have to do, I would say.
That leads on to, so I've had this problem with this Assassin's Creed and the last Assassin's Creed, because they wait like 6 months to put the DLC packages out.
Very true, yes.
So I buy the game with the gold edition, so it comes included. And then I've exhausted the game by the time the DLC comes out. And I'm sort of like, oh, you have to sort of be in the swing of it to really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I haven't played the Irish one or the Siege of Paris yet.
No, when I bought my copy, it was in anticipation of getting a PS5, like, when it came out initially, which was very foolhardy and very naive. I now realise it took me months to get a PS5. So by the time I actually got a PS5, and I'd already bought a copy of the game, it wasn't a game with any DLC in it, which was rare for me because I usually buy the gold edition, and I did do for the previous 2. So I don't have access to the DLC, even if I was at that point, which I'm not. But I'm probably going to just buy it in a sale, hopefully, once I have finished the game, which will probably take me another couple of months, I would reckon, at the pace I'm going. But that's fine, because by that time, I'll be, like you say, in the swing of it and ready to move on to the next parts. I always love the Discovery Tours, and I'm looking forward to that coming out, because that's free anyway. So I'll definitely be getting that. But I did feel like the quality was slightly lacking in Odyssey compared to Origins, and I am biased, obviously, having studied Egyptology more at uni. It was the subject I was more interested in, but even then there were some areas that they could have focused on which they didn't quite cover in the Discovery Tour. But I did enjoy it, and I think what they've done with it is really cool. Like, they've been using it in schools and stuff to help with education there. So there's all sorts of different uses, and it's exciting to see that come out of this type of game.
Yeah, there's I think Assassin's Creed's done a massive amount for people's interest in history. There's a story about the kid who got separated from his school group when he was in Venice, and he managed to find his way back to them because he played Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, that's so funny. Wow. That's what's so good about the earlier ones as well. They did try and recreate the map, because they were just focusing on cities. They could then do it almost exactly right for a lot of the locations, which was really cool. Yeah.
That's just reminded me. So if I forget at the end of the session, we'll finish on the question: what do you want to see for Assassin's Creed future? Okay. So
I'll think about that. But
yeah. So you mentioned Orlog. Next question is, what were our favourite things to do in the game? So we'll go one at a time. So you said Orlog.
Yeah.
I loved doing the Viking raids. I really enjoyed like going. They were like the first things I wanted to do because I wanted to uncover the map via the rivers straight away, so that sort of takes you everywhere and gets some fast travel points everywhere.
Yeah.
And then just seeing all of the forts all over the place, and I loved trying to defeat the really high level forts as soon as possible, because you need to get in there and assassinate the knights.
Yeah. And
one of the key issues I had with Odyssey was that you're an assassin. What defines that is that you can kill anyone with one strike if you sneak up on them. But in that, you couldn't do that if the enemy was high level enough, which sort of nullified you as an assassin. But now I think they've come up with a really elegant solution for that, where you can, when they're really high, you can stab them and take them out.
Yeah.
And then you run off, and then you come back and kill the other ones.
Yeah.
And then you just need to hide from the enemy long enough to get a mate to smash a door down.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fort infiltration was always a favourite thing of mine to do as well. Especially like thinking about the newer trilogy as a whole. It's definitely one of my favourite things to do in Origins. I would spend hours just stealthily going around until I got spotted, and then all hell would break loose. But it was always a fun puzzle to try and work out the best route round to certain spots that you needed from forts, like all the resources and stuff. The other things I like doing in Valhalla, though, one of my favourites is just spending time in the environment. Particularly, there's a spot in Norfolk, ironically enough, which is just a beach with loads of seals on it. And I would go there when I just needed time out from fighting. I'd be like, I just need to chill with the seals. And I think there was a puzzle there, some kind of, what did they call it? Not a Stonehenge, like a sea henge, you know. Well, and the cairns as well. Cairns are great. But, yeah. It was like you had to match the symbol, you know, and that was quite a fun puzzle to do. But yeah, just finding that spot with all the seals was really nice. No, I could just watch them for hours because they're so cute, and they swim around and sometimes they pop out of the water and everything. But it's just nice to be able to be like, well, I'm going to go and sit in the world for a bit and just look at the world that I'm in, and not have to do anything except just sit, which is something that you can do a lot of in Assassin's Creed because it's so beautiful.
I was been editing videos of our past episodes into little clips, and I was watching the Hannah Barr and Brown episode, and one thing they talked about was she has the need to be productive at all times.
Yes.
And I just thought that makes me twitch. I can't. I can't bear the idea of thinking, oh, you need to do that all the time. So just finding a nice beach with some seals in a game and just sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Hannah would hate that.
She probably would. She'd be like, where's the next puzzle I need to solve?
She needs a knitting game.
She does. Oh, imagine that. That'd be cool.
Talking of like the productive aspects of like one of the important things is have you played any of the anomaly like free running?
Yes, I have. Yeah, they're quite interesting. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's just really basic platforming essentially, and then a little bit of like puzzle solving to work out how to make platforms appear in certain places. And then I can't remember actually what happened last time I got to the top of one. They're just little snippets of cutscenes, a bit like when you used to get bits of the vision of the Apple of Eden from the very old Assassin's Creed games. So there's something there that's going to be revealed, I expect. I don't know yet because I haven't found them all. But it was interesting that they've kind of melded the present day character into that part of the game as well. So it feels like they're a bit more connected than some of the other Assassin's Creeds. In terms of reminding you that you're actually playing an avatar rather than the actual character itself.
Okay, moving on, jumping off of that bit, we'll go to some criticisms.
Okay.
So, related to the last thing you said, I thought in Origins and Odyssey, I thought Layla,
yeah,
the
that's
modern day
it.
character,
Yeah.
I thought she was a really interesting character, and they did that really well. I feel like in this one, they sort of made her a non-factor. I didn't feel any character. Maybe that's because she was just stuck in one place.
Even though I haven't finished the game, I've probably been playing for at least 50 hours, if not moving up to near 100 now. But I feel like the beginning, when they establish like what's happened to Layla and the rest of the crew, feels like literally years ago, and so it's really easy to forget like the establishing cutscenes and things, and the story behind why they are where they are now. So it does feel like, because there's so much in the world of Valhalla while you're in the Animus, it does make you almost forget like the modern day aspect to it. So I think that probably contributes quite a bit. But then they're always quite light on the modern day story anyway. But yeah, I don't know really. It's difficult to really get a rounded idea of her character, because I don't think we spend long enough with her in any of them, really. But maybe that's just my opinion. You could probably piece it together if you kind of sat with all the footage for a little while and just played that. You'd be like, okay, so this is what's happening. But because there's so much in between times, it all just kind of gets pushed down to the bottom of your pile of things that are relevant. At least in my head, anyway. What do you think, Matt?
I think in the past, they've been able to do it really well. For example, the Black Flag modern day stuff, that was genius.
I loved that. I thought it was great.
Actually, genius.
Yeah. That was actually the parts of the game I actually really wanted to get back to, because I was like, I need to find out what's going on in the office, which is not a feeling I've had with other Assassin's Creed. And the twist at the end as well was really cool. If you remember.
Yeah.
I think they integrated it really well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought everything about that was brilliant. And I feel like they've been listening to people saying, oh, we're not really that bothered with the modern day stuff. And I think they're just going, we don't want to cut it entirely, because that's the point of Assassin's Creed. We're just going to sort of make it really meek and not try and do anything bold with it. But it's just don't really care.
I think a lot of people are just saying they should just make it like the ancient characters themselves and have no modern day equivalent, because you are basically just playing out their entire lives, more or less, which has always been the case. But it definitely feels like they could have done the story potentially even without the modern day aspect to it. I don't know. It just feels like they're trying to cram too many storylines into one thing.
Yeah, because like with this, they just sort of went, just do everything.
Yeah.
Make it as big as possible. I have some pet peeves.
Okay.
So there's a main peeve is that it doesn't feel very assassin-y.
That's true. Yes.
Being a Viking isn't particularly assassin-y.
No, you've got to be loud and proud when you're a Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pillage, you can't pillage quietly.
No.
And the sieges, they were rubbish compared to So we've both played Middle-earth Shadow
Yeah.
of War.
Yeah,
That's
which is like
Siege.
Yeah, the pinnacle of Siege gameplay. It's just so much more nuanced in Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor or whatever. I forget the first title. Well, it was more the second one though, wasn't it, with the sieges? But yeah, no, the sieges in Assassin's Creed Valhalla are pretty subpar compared, I would say. You know, you could pretty much just run through them, and you don't even have to fight anybody. You just sort of stand around, and then maybe occasionally help push a log on the door. And then it's pretty much it from my experience. Yeah, it was kind of like do this thing, then do this thing, then do this thing, and you're done. And that's it. Whereas, yeah, there is a much more nuanced and layered way of doing sieges that's much more involving, I think, with the example of Shadow of War. But yeah.
I feel like I was very aware of. It felt like they were sort of struggling to come up with really good ideas, which is natural because they've lost the Mediterranean setting. Gave them so much variety to do, but when you're just trudging through England, we need to pillage. How do we make pillaging challenging?
Yeah.
And it feels like literally the only things they came up with was it's very hard to assassinate the knights, and you can't, you need someone to help you knock a door down. And they put a fixed camera on you when you're doing it, so you can't cancel when someone comes up behind you.
Yeah.
It feels like that. Yeah. It feels like a lot of what they do is trying to slow you down, because if you were to do it logically, then it would actually be quite easy. So you should be able to just go in, assassinate a load of people, and then open a door yourself.
Yeah. I got so frustrated waiting for people to come and help me open doors and open chests, and like when you had to realise actually they can't get through the door because they can't climb the building and get in through the window, so you then had to open the door for them and wait for them to run at you, and then they'd get there and push it and wait for you, and you're like, I was waiting here for 10 minutes already. Ugh, it's frustrating. But yes, I was going to mention when you talked about like the Mediterranean setting, it put me in mind of like how much more exciting just the general environment of places like Greece and Egypt are compared to England. I may be biased again, and also living in England, you're just used to it, aren't you? But like perhaps I could be wrong, but the medieval setting, not medieval, Anglo-Saxon setting, isn't really that exciting compared to the settings that we have previously played through. Like a lot more was happening in that world at the time. Not that, well, I mean in terms of like physical environments and the places you explore. So in Origins, for example, I could so easily tell like what was happening in the parts of the map I was in because of the people that were in them and the languages they were speaking and the buildings that were there and all that sort of thing. Whereas when I'm like running around England, I'm like, it says I'm in Yorkshire or wherever, and I'm like, well, I could be anywhere, I don't know. I can't tell the difference between this place and a place that's 50 miles away because they all look the same to me. But that might just be me, I don't know.
No, I think you can blame Christianity for that, because the Dark Ages, literally 1,000 years of them going, we're going to take this book, we're not going to teach anyone anything, we're not going to learn anything, and we're going to live in the mud and just farm for 1,000 years. Whereas it's like 1,000 years before in Odyssey, there were tremendous things going on everywhere. Cities and democracies and wars and distinct people everywhere. But then in Europe, for 1,000 years, it was just mud and farming.
Very much so.
So that's why it was so difficult to make. It's so difficult to make mud and farming interesting.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of Gaming the System. If you want to support us, you can donate to us through our PayPal by sending it to wearegamingthesystem@gmail.com if you want to send us a one-off donation. If you want to donate to us monthly, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/gamingthesystem. Until next time, bye-bye.